Hi, so this is my response for Unit 9. What information impacted you? How will you apply this knowledge personally and or professionally? In the other forum that we had for Unit 9, I talked about nutrition and that statistic of 7.1 billion are starving and oh, I forgot it. I wrote about it. Here, yeah, I was malnourished and overnourished. They're doing construction in my apartment, or my apartment complex, so that kind of scared me. My bad. Um, yeah, 7.1 billion are starving and 60 billion are well over full. I found that to impact me the most, and as well as our last unit, which was the overeat or the eating disorders. But just to put a little, my voice to that forum, um, it impacted me so much that whenever I went out, I go to this place. It's in town, and all my friends go there. And when I say friends, I mean like they're like well into their 50s. So it's like they're older friends, but they always ask me how I'm doing and whatnot, and I talk to them, and I brought up the statistic, and I got everybody's opinion on it, and it was a nice little conversation because um, the truth is that like and I talked to my girls on the team about this too. And the truth is that it's cheaper to just go through a drive-through than it is to go out and buy, fruits and vegetables. Although right now at Stater Brothers they're doing those little tiny salads, 3 for $10. So I definitely got one. I got 3 of those. But despite like all the sales and whatnot, it's a little expensive to buy fruits and vegetables, and even then you have to have that knowledge on how to cook them, and not a lot of kids have that knowledge, and um, excuse me, um, but even then it's really difficult to get their hands on actual nutritious food. And then with the eating disorders, I found that really interesting just because a there's not a book or there's not a website, which I mean, okay, there could be a website, I just haven't found it yet, that says it's like basically like I forget what that book was called, but it's like Chicken Soup for the Soul. I think that's what it was. I forget, but with that though, there's not a little step by step guide for coaches to be like, okay, so your athlete just came back from treatment or from an eating disorder treatment, whatever treatment it is. It doesn't. There's nothing that specifically says you should do this, you should do that, and yeah, that comes along with like experience and having to deal with people who have gone through, hell and back basically, and you learn to have that compassion for those students or those types of situations, and that was why on my other video I acted the way I did with like telling them that they're brave, telling them that they're strong, and takes a strong person to do what they did to go get help and then come back. And who's to say that's the right way to do things? Like I saw someone else's, and they're like basically, I think it was like showing what she say? Showing obvious encouragement or obvious that that the coaches obviously care about them, making their care obvious. And there's a lot of ways people can go about it, and honestly, it all depends on the students. All depends on the athletes on how they like to deal with their stuff. And it's not to put it out there or anything like that, but it's like what do we do? What are the guidelines for it? And like I said, I think that's just something that like I have to keep looking on because we're always going to be running into like situations like that, and you just have to be ready for it. But I think so sorry. What I think the second question was how will you apply this knowledge personally and or professionally? I've already done it professionally and personally with the nutrition. Talking to people and making it aware of like this is going on type of thing, because if people don't talk about it, most people won't even think about it or know about it. And the same goes for eating disorders and whatnot. Just being aware of it, and doing like a what is it like a taking an account more for me, taking an account of my team, like you know, their habits, their eating habits. You know, if they're coming in already with like Bakers in their hand or like McDonald's in their hand, like, you know, just being aware, basically. But yeah, that's about it. Can't wait to watch your guys' videos.